What makes WooCommerce a fantastic e-commerce platform or e-commerce tool? In today's conversation, I want to do an in-depth review of WooCommerce. I want to give you all the pros and cons, all the ins and outs, so you have a clear idea what this tool stands for. Let me first give you the overview that you really need to pay attention to if you're trying to understand everything. So WooCommerce is an open source e-commerce platform that's built for WordPress. So it lets you sell physical and digital products as well as affiliated products from certain marketplaces, okay? And in terms of payments, WooCommerce comes bundled with PayPal for accepting credit card and PayPal account payments, bags and cash on delivery for accepting payments, okay? And what we love about WooCommerce is the simplicity. We love the fact that it integrates very well with hundreds of solutions, including Facebook, for example, Sage, Zapier, MailChimp, ShipStation, Square, Stripe, Fulfillment by Amazon, this is the FBA, and many more, okay? And WordPress, when you really think of it, see, WordPress and the WooCommerce are kind of interrelated. And WordPress is a powerful platform you can use to build almost any type of website. However, one of the things that it cannot easily do is enable you to set up an online store, at least not without the help of an e-commerce plugin. So that's where WooCommerce comes in. So WooCommerce is a plugin that includes most of the essential features you will need to set up an online store through WordPress. And the base plugin is 100% free. And there are plenty of modestly priced extensions that can extend your options even further. Okay. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. We love having this sort of in-depth reviews from time to time. And so if you are considering WooCommerce, here are some reasons that you might want to think about when it comes to helping you, like using WooCommerce. It's built for WordPress. It is an open source. It's self-hosted. And it's easily scalable. Self-hosted means you are taking care of everything. WooCommerce is not a SaaS offer. It's not a software as a service offer. It is self-hosted, okay? And so when it comes to the benefits of using this WordPress and WooCommerce for your site, it's free. It's very easy to learn. And it's very popular also and very scalable, okay? And so overall, WordPress is a very popular CMS, and you can actually use it for a lot of things, not just for blogging. People think that WordPress is only for blogging. No, it's also for e-commerce websites, as long as you have the right plugins. Let's quickly go through the pros and cons of WooCommerce so we have a clearer idea of what this tool really stands for. Let's first with the pros, if you will. So you have easy implementation. WooCommerce, in our view, at least in our view, is great because it is free forever, at least for now. You have a constellation of features. You have support and resources and scalability. Scalability is important because it allows you to grow your offer as your business is growing, okay? So it's great for users who prefer WordPress. It's highly customizable thanks to the fact that it's open source when you really think about it. You have plenty of integrations, and you have an active community of developers and experts. This is kind of important also because if you are going to choose a tool and there is no sort of community that backs you up, when you have problems, you can only reach out to customer service. If customer service is not really responding to you, you are toast. But with WordPress, you have this community that is out there. So if WooCommerce is not reaching out to you or anybody else, you can actually go and ask questions in a forum and somebody will answer you. What about the cons of WooCommerce? Now, it does require WordPress because if you're not really into WordPress, you're not using WooCommerce. And there are other plugins needed, okay? Now, WooCommerce can do a lot on its own, but you'll likely find yourself adding other plugins to get the most out of it. Some are free, while others may come with a one-time or monthly cost. And updates can actually cause issues depending on how you actually position yourself. And this could be a pain depending on how you actually position yourself, okay? And sometimes when it comes to WooCommerce and WordPress in general, there could be an uphill learning curve, especially if you're not, let's say, if coding and programming is not your forte, you might actually find this WooCommerce plugin an uphill trajectory when it comes to learning it, okay? And so WooCommerce updates don't always work well with WordPress. It's self-hosted, which means you'll have to handle updates and maintenance yourself. It does require knowledge and proficiency in WordPress. Again, it's the importance of and the centrality of WordPress when we talk about WooCommerce. Okay, and while the WooCommerce plugin is free, costs can still run high when you factor in hosting, development, and maintenance, for example. Let's talk about pricing because this is an important element to really think about. Now, boss, by the way, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. I'm having a conversation with you about WooCommerce. I'm giving you an in-depth review of WooCommerce, okay? So WooCommerce is free forever. That we have already established. They're not going to charge you for it, but they actually sort of, get you, quote unquote, get your ass when it comes to making sure that you have to pay for a constellation of plugins, okay? And you do have several options for upgrades and extensions when you are ready to start tapping into the full potential WooCommerce has to offer, and that can cost you a lot of money. Yeah, you have to be really careful about choosing those extensions and those upgrades, okay? So you do have so in terms of pricing and option, the price that you ultimately pay, if any, will depend on whether or not you want to use the WooCommerce sales platform, whether or not you want to buy WooCommerce extensions, whether or not you want to buy WooCommerce themes, whether or not you want to avail yourself of WooCommerce marketing functionalities, WooCommerce payments, WooCommerce shipping, WooCommerce mobile app functionalities, and WooCommerce for developers community. So those are really important elements because every time you have to engage with those communities or with those products and services, chances are you might have to pay. Let me give you an example. So when we talk about WooCommerce sales platform, this is actually the bread and butter platform we have been focusing on so far. All you have to do is find the plugin in the WordPress marketplace directly within your WordPress plugins dashboard and download the plugin. After that, you want to activate it and you can begin building your store. It's very simple, and sometimes it is free, sometimes it's not free. Now, WooCommerce extensions can be costly too, depending on what you are trying to achieve, right? So, but you can do a lot with them though. You can improve marketing with specific features. You can upgrade the look and feel of your checkout pages. You can make taxes even easier to manage and track, and so much more. It really depends on what's important for you, okay? And there are thousands of tools and features you can add via the WooCommerce extension store, and a surprising number of them are free to implement and use. Just be mindful that the ones that do cost money can be pricey, running as high as at $249 per year. So those are things I really want you to really pay attention to. But overall, this is totally worth it. It's really important to know exactly what really works for you and what doesn't work for you. And you also have themes, okay? So overall, fantastic. Now let's talk about setup. And so how to set up a WordPress and WooCommerce in 3 easy steps, okay? Well, you want to register a domain name and you want to pick a web host, okay? The thing is, if you don't have a WordPress website yet, don't worry, because getting the platform up and running is pretty simple. So first you need to register a domain name and pick a web host, okay? You can go with Hostinger, you can go with SiteGround. It really depends on you, okay? So because many people register their domains through their web host, but we recommend keeping the two separate so you can easily hold on to your domain name if you change hosts. Okay, for example, you can use a dedicated service like Namecheap to choose and purchase your domain. Okay, and number 2, you want to install WordPress on your chosen host. And the third thing you want to do here is you want to install and activate the WooCommerce plugin. Okay, so you need to activate it. First, you need to log into your new WordPress site and look for the plugins tab. Click on it, then select the Add New button at the top of the screen. Okay, so this is really helpful. And so to get started with WooCommerce, this is pretty simple. Also, you want to complete the onboarding wizards. So there is an onboarding wizard in WooCommerce that allows you to really be officially onboarded. And then you need to add your first product. So step number 2, you need to add your first product. It's important to understand that you need to actually set up your product catalog properly. To do this, you want to go to your WordPress dashboard and look for the products tab. Then you want to click on the create your first product button. Now it's pretty straightforward, nothing complicated. We have tons of examples. The only thing is we did not get the permission from our business clients to show their data, but it's very, very simple to do. And the third thing you need to do here is to enable additional payment gateways. Okay, WooCommerce ships with PayPal integration by default. That's the default. It can also enable you to accept checks, cash on delivery, and bank transfers. However, there's a good chance you will want to add additional payment gateways to reach more users. So to do this, you'll need to use WooCommerce extensions, which are similar to WordPress plugins. Okay, so that you can have like Stripe, you can add Stripe, you can use Authorize.net, you can use other players. So that again, the bottom line here is that you can actually appeal to a larger customer base. Let's talk about the products. How do you actually showcase products or manage products on? How do you manage products on WooCommerce? Okay. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about WooCommerce review. Okay, I'm giving you an in-depth review of WooCommerce, a very granular analysis, a very granular investigation, and so it's important to understand that WooCommerce makes it a lot easier for you to choose, showcase, and ship your products. Okay, and so you are able to actually like you can basically you have a lot of plugins that allow you to do that, and WooCommerce has a step-by-step that allows you to actually import your products. One thing that's very important to understand is that finding and choosing the right products for your store has nothing to do with WooCommerce. This is more like this is purely a sourcing challenge. Okay, it's up to you to find the right products. It's up to you to. We have actually covered this on other shows, so I'm not going to speak too much about this in today's conversation. But if you are interested in this topic, just drop us a comment below, and we'll certainly get back to you in terms of sourcing, in terms of vetting all the suppliers. Okay, and in terms of if you want to showcase your products in WooCommerce for optimal conversions, make sure that you use images that show your products in action so people can imagine themselves using them. Showcase all available colors and styles, and try to shoot each item from different angles. Okay, and you can also use WooCommerce for drop shipping. Not a problem at all. It is totally possible. The functionality is there, and you can use tools such as Doba, tools such as Spocket, tools such as AliExpress. You can use Deezers. There are a lot of players out there that allow you to integrate very well with WooCommerce and start selling right away. Okay, and the bottom line here is that what I'm trying to say here is that with WooCommerce, you have flexibility, you have functionality, you have adaptability, and this is what you need. I mean, you want to have a system that allows you to adapt to market trends right away and not really have to waste time if there is a change in market conditions. Okay, because whether you're selling online or whether you're selling offline, with WooCommerce you can do both. It's kind of similar to Shopify. You can do both. You can actually sell online, or like you have an online store that serves as an intermediary, if you will, for your offline transactions. Let's talk about extensions, because as I said, I told you that with WooCommerce, things are free up to a certain extent, right? When it's time to actually, let's say when it's time to have all the extensions that you need, you might have to pay a lot, not a lot, but you might have to pay something. Okay, so it's important to have a clear idea about what extensions are. Now, what are WooCommerce extensions? Now, WooCommerce extensions offer a great way to add new features to your store. Simple as that. Extensions are WooCommerce's version of WordPress plugins, so they fulfill a similar role by enabling you to add extra functionality to your site. So if you actually, if you really understand what I'm saying, like you can actually use extensions to add more powerful features to your website, to your WooCommerce website. They are very easy to set up, nothing complicated. You don't have to have a PhD in computer science to understand. Okay, and I want to share with you a few, in our view, two of the best WooCommerce extensions for new users. If you're a new user, you want to go with WooCommerce Google Analytics. That one is free. And you can just go for the WooCommerce MailChimp. That one is around $49 as of the date of this show. And WooCommerce MailChimp, that extension will help you actually beef up your email newsletter, your email marketing. Big time. Because email newsletters are one of the best ways to stay in touch with past visitors and promote new deals to an interested audience, right? So WooCommerce MailChimp enables you to integrate your store with the MailChimp email marketing service which makes it possible for you to send out personalized emails. Okay, and so this extension enables users to sign up to your email list during the checkout process. You can then configure it to send out emails based on specific customer data and purchase history. And here are the two of the best WooCommerce extensions for established stores. So you have product bundles. So offering product bundles is a time-tested way to increase your store sales. And so product bundles is kind of cool. And you also have a WooCommerce Fresh Desk. Okay, this is kind of cool in terms of WooCommerce Fresh Desk is about accounting and finance. Okay, and in some cases you might have sales also. And the Fresh Desk service lets you set up a homepage, like a knowledge base, not a homepage, a knowledge base for your store. So your users will be able to troubleshoot problems on their own if necessary. Let's talk about outsourcing, because this is an important element. So you can outsource your WooCommerce stores management. In other words, you can actually have multiple WooCommerce stores and not really handle anything yourself. Okay, if you're not interested in running a WooCommerce store by yourself, then you can actually outsource the whole thing and just reap the benefits. Every month somebody comes to you and they do some kind of reporting. They explain to you what happens, what didn't happen. So that's kind of cool to go. Now, this option has pros and cons though. So whether you actually have somebody manage it for you or you do it yourself, there are pros and cons. Okay. So for example, the pros, it frees up time for you to spend on other things. You can focus on the big picture decisions instead of a micromanagement, and you are able to outsource the tasks you don't like or are not comfortable doing. What about the cons? It's not cheap. Finding the right candidates can be a difficult process, and you will need to spend time training new hires. So this is kind of an important element for you to think about. Okay. And how do you outsource your WooCommerce stores management? Well, you want to look for the right candidates. So think about like experience using WooCommerce and possibly other e-commerce platforms, excellent communication skills, plenty of time to fit your work into their schedule. Okay. So step number one, you want to look for the right candidate. Number two, you want to outline your management duties. So you want to make a list of all the duties you want to outsource. You want to include a full explanation for each task. Okay, you want to note how much time you expect each task to take, and you want to mention any processes that require your approval. This is important. And the third thing I want you to do here is to monitor your store's performance, because this is an ongoing thing though. It's just not a one-time thing. You have to continually monitor your store's performance so you have a clear idea of what's working and what's not working. I want to share with you a few extras here. So how do you actually find awesome WooCommerce themes? Well, you have to go to the app, to the theme store. Okay, WooCommerce does have I'll say like a theme marketplace that allow you to know exactly what really works for you. You can also go to other platforms, okay, to get that. Just make sure that whatever themes you choose, make sure that you pay attention to recent updates, higher user ratings, functionality relevant to your niche. It has to be relevant to your niche, okay. And so the WooCommerce theme store does have a constellation of themes that you can actually choose from. Okay, you have theme forest, for example, which is actually a great tool, if you will, in terms of helping you choose the right theme. Okay, and you are also able to offer multiple currencies and languages in WooCommerce, not a problem at all. And this is going to help you actually increase your reach. You can set up a multilingual WooCommerce store. You can actually avail yourself of the fraud prevention tactics that WooCommerce has available to you. So the bottom line here is that you have to ask yourself what really works for you or what doesn't work for you. Let's close to this conversation with optimization. Okay, optimization is really an important element because WooCommerce will help you have an online presence, that's for sure. But at the end of the day, you got to have the right strategy if you are trying to survive online. Okay, so it's really important to optimize your store. And so poor site optimization is not good because you are going to have high bounce rate, which you want to avoid because it has negative implications in terms of your conversions. So you don't want to have bloated plugins and don't actually use the wrong hosting plan. Okay, so if you want to optimize your WooCommerce store performance right now, I want you to start thinking about optimizing your images. and this is important. And you want to actually compress JPEG and PNG images. You want to replace your slow plugins or extension. Those are really important elements in terms of speeding your websites. And try using a content delivery network, a CDN. So two of the most important factors between poor performance are server distance and load. If your servers are overloaded or too far away from your visitors' locations, your site can load slowly. A content delivery network tackles this issue by distributing cached copies of your site to nearby locations from data centers around the world, thereby lightening the load on your main servers. Okay, so this is kind of cool. And so as for CDN to use, you can use Cloudflare, you can use other players out there as well. Okay, and how do you actually integrate third-party e-commerce platform with WooCommerce? You just have to go through the functionalities, go through the plugins also to do that. And so in terms of integrations, you also have with WooCommerce a large constellation of integrations that are really helping you every single day. Okay, so this is kind of cool. And if you want to integrate WooCommerce with third-party e-commerce platforms, list your WooCommerce products on eBay. You want to publish your WooCommerce products on Amazon, for example. You can also add Shopify's Buy Now button to WooCommerce. So if you do it that way, you are able to constantly revamp your strategy. Okay, now let's talk about marketing. Marketing is really, really important. Let me quickly talk to you about marketing. So if you are trying to ace your game when it comes to marketing your WooCommerce online store without breaking the bank, of course, use social media to get the word out. Okay, and the thing here is that using social media is not going to be very expensive for you. Just set up accounts on all the platforms that are relevant to your store and its audience. It has to be, those accounts must be relevant to your store and your audience. Okay. Find a tool to automate sharing your content to social media, such as IFTTT, for example. Make use of popular hashtags in your niche and reply to comments to increase engagement. You always have to reply to comments, okay? Don't let customers or don't let viewers actually engage with you and you just like sort of ghost them. This doesn't work at all, okay? You want to reach out to influencers in your niche. I mean, some influencers want to get paid. Some will be very comfortable to work with you if you have the right proposition for them. Sometimes it's not just about the money. It's about what's in it for me. What are you offering me? What kind of what chance are you giving me? So you want to identify influencers in your niche, contact them to see if they're willing to advertise your products, negotiate a rate or service exchange, and agree on the message you want them to publish, okay? And you want to constantly improve your store's search engine optimization. I spoke earlier about SEO being an important element. SEO is going to determine whether or not your store is ranking high over time, okay? And again, when we talk about SEO, we are speaking about free traffic. This is the keyword here, free traffic. You're not paying Google to actually bring the traffic to you. It's just done automatically. Okay, so this is kind of cool. And the last thing I want you to do here is to use a pay-per-click advertising, so PPC. So pay-per-click is part of what we call in the industry SEM, so search engine optimization. So you're able to actually drive a massive audience to your store right away. So you can reach a massive audience and you can set your own marketing budget, okay? Pay-per-click advertising is when you run ads on a particular platform and pay for each click on those ads. It's a great way to target users who are already interested in your products or niche. In addition, you get to set your own budget, and in most cases, each click should only cost you a few cents, okay? So it's really an important element to really think about. Now, you need to have the budget for it, though. You need to have the budget for it. And you need to be ready for the dent in your, let's say, in your P&L, at least at the beginning, because the whole thing is that you are trying to build awareness around your store, and it takes time. Nobody knows you, okay? You're just new. You're a new kid on the block. It takes time. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I just reviewed the WooCommerce for you. I give you an overview, the pros and cons, the pricing and options, the setup, the products, the extensions, the outsourcing, the extras, the optimization, and last but not the least, we spoke about the marketing strategy. Thank you. God bless you. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.